Hi, I'm Matthew Lapp, host of Matthew Lapp Train Guy Segment Show. Also today in this segment, I'm at the National Ranching Heritage Center in Lubbock, Texas. The National Ranching Heritage Center is located on 3121 4th Street in Lubbock, Texas, and the park is open Mondays through Saturdays 10 to 4 and Sundays 1 to 4, and the gallery closes an hour later each of those days, and admission is free. Also, it is closed on Texas Tech Days. It is located on the campus of Texas Tech University. It all began in 1969 by the Ranching Heritage Association. In 1999, the NRHC was a part of the Museum of Texas Tech University, which it is adjacent to. It has a 19-acre historical park located on the northern boundary of the campus. The site features windmills, dugouts, barns, corrals, and pens where cattle would have been loaded onto trains, a bunkhouse, one-room schoolhouse, blacksmith shop, ranch headquarters building, a cabin made of cactus stalks and mud chinking, and an elegant two-story ranch home. Also features a railroad display including a steam locomotive from the Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy Railroad disguised as a Fort Worth and Denver locomotive but never used by that railroad. As well as that, it features two stock cars and a depot once used by the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railroad, and a caboose that came from the Fort Worth and Denver Railroad as well. What you see right behind me is the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Ropes Depot. The Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Ropes Depot was built in 1918 and was originally located in Ropesville, Texas, which the name of the town is short for. It was used by the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railroad and would be used for passengers to buy a ticket and go on a train somewhere, or to arrive on a train from somewhere and would be riding on a train on the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railroad as well. Then later on, the depot was retired and it was acquired by the National Ranching Heritage Center in Lubbock, Texas, where it is seen today. Okay, in this shed you can see a handcar that is parked inside. I think this handcar was once used by the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railroad. And in this shed you could see some tools on the wall and many other materials used by the railroad. And today can be found adjacent to the train depot here at the National Ranching Heritage Center in Lubbock, Texas. Okay, you can see right here are three different switch stands, and they have been here in the museum's collection for years. Like, you just saw how I moved this switch stand, and this one, you would have to lift this up, but I think it's been bolted shut, maybe. And the switch stand behind me works similar to this one as well. What you see right behind me is Fort Worth and Denver 401. Fort Worth and Denver 401 was built by Baldwin in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 1923, and is the 571 13th steam locomotive built by that factory, and is a 282 Mikado type steam locomotive, and is an 01A class steam locomotive. This locomotive was never built for the Fort Worth and Denver Railroad. It was actually built for the Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy Railroad and was originally numbered 4994. It is one of 60 Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy 282s ordered by the railroad in 1923, and all were built by Baldwin and numbered from 4940 to 4999. Also, this locomotive was used on the railroad for a number of years. In 1958, it was leased to the Colorado and Southern Railroad to replace diesels that were destroyed in two head-on collisions, which was in Chugwater, Wyoming, and Broomfield, Colorado. Then the lease ended in 1959, and this locomotive was kept at the Colorado and Southern Roundhouse on 7th Street in Denver, Colorado. In 1964, it was taken out of storage at the Colorado and Southern Roundhouse and was moved to Lubbock, Texas, where it got put on display at the National Ranching Heritage Center. As well as that, it was renumbered and relettered to look like a Fort Worth and Denver steam engine. And like I said, it was never actually used by the Fort Worth and Denver Railroad or ever had this number. It was repainted to resemble the original Fort Worth and Denver 401 because the original one was scrapped between 1955 and 1960 and was originally built by Baldwin in 1915 and was an E4A1 class and had the same wheel arrangement. It was likely the 42-197th steam locomotive built by Baldwin. Also, this locomotive was repainted and relettered to resemble it by the museum as well. Also, it is one of 4 surviving Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy 282s left in the world today, and 4994 can be found here at the National Ranching Heritage Center in Lubbock, Texas, but is dressed as Fort Worth and Denver 401 as well. What you see right behind me is Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe 50847. Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe 50847 was possibly built by the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe shops in Cleburne, Texas in 1928 and is a stock car. This car once hauled cattle from farms to whatever destination in the past on the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railroad. Then later it was retired and was then acquired by the National Ranching Heritage Center in Lubbock, Texas, where it is on display today. What you see right behind me is Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe 68970. Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe 68970 was possibly built by the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe shops in Cleburne, Texas in 1929 and is a stock car. This car once hauled cattle from farms to whatever destination in the past on the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railroad. Then later on, it was acquired by the National Ranching Heritage Center in Lubbock, Texas, where it is on display today. What you see right behind me is Fort Worth and Denver 72. Fort Worth and Denver 72 was likely built in the 1880s and is a wooden caboose. This caboose was used on the Fort Worth and Denver Railroad many years ago and was used on the back of freight trains and was used as the train crew's office as well. Then later on it was retired and was then donated to the National Ranching Heritage Center in Lubbock, Texas, where it is on display today. Okay, you can see behind me, this is a Wig Wag signal that was used by the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railroad, and this is how it would have worked when it was flashed, when it was at crossing. And nowadays it's here on display at the National Ranching Heritage Center in Lubbock, Texas, with the train display. Okay, you can see this maintenance of MOW Flatbed behind me. It is loaded with ties, and this is how the maintenance people would have used it to help lay down tracks and ties. And as you can see, these are loaded with old railroad ties and a piece of rail. And also, this flatbed is, and it would have been used for other purposes, maintenance of way use on the railroad. Here this flatbed is today at the National Ranching Heritage Center in Lubbock, Texas. See behind me is this signal that was once used on probably the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railroad, and it was used to control trains, and also it was then acquired by the National Ranching Heritage Center in Lubbock, Texas, where it is nowadays. Well, I hope you all enjoyed learning about trains with me today in Matthew Lapp Train Guy segment show. Also, I hope to see you all again in the next segment. And if you didn't subscribe to my channel yet, the subscribe button is just down below the video screen. And if you didn't give my Facebook page a like yet, here's where you'll want to go. And if you didn't give the Instagram page a follow yet, here's where you'll want to go as well. Also, be sure to get your merch at teesprings.com. Link is in the description box below, along with the Facebook and Instagram pages. And you know the drill. Remember to subscribe to the Train Guy. So this is Matthew Lapp, host of Matthew Lapp Train Guy segment show, signing out until next time. All aboard!